One of our listeners and one of the musicians here in town, Steve Vernak from Vinyl Wings, actually reached out to me last week and had a chance to listen to his music. A lot of really good stuff. He's hosting a benefit concert that's going to be on June 15th to promote the Stigma Free campaign.
Had a party in the backyard, strummed the strings on my guitar. Every time I thought you heard, I'd sing another verse. Piled in the car to another yard, brought the bruise and herb. Private home or festival, for what it's worth. I need a little bit of comfort in my anything, girl. Nothing at the time, so why is it burning my life? Maybe I want something more with you. Maybe I love you. We slept on the floor.
She has shared her story of growth and recovery with everyone she teaches as a peer supporter and someone who has completed many certification programs in order to help those who are also suffering from mental illness. She fights the stigma every day. Another person who fights the stigma around mental illness is our award recipient, the youngest Nami member, Stephen Vernak.
In the Airbnb in Venice, and I am here with our special guest today, Stephen.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. That's really loud. How's everyone doing tonight? It's enthusiastic. My name is Stephen Vernak.
He is an entertainer, and the first time I met him, it was such a joy. They called me to the front desk that there was a young man waiting to see me, and as I walked there, I heard some music, and he was playing a ukulele and singing a song. It was so joyful.
He impressed me like the second we met, not just because he like plays a little ukulele.
Right there in the waiting room. It was so sweet.
I'm going to be talking about some of my experiences with mental illness and sharing my thoughts on how I think we can improve things as a community.
I brought him down to my office and he proceeded to tell me his story. Now, a story of growth and recovery after being hospitalized.
I would organize open mic nights, get a lot of inexperienced musicians, my friends who just played guitar or sang, and I'd bring them into the industry and kind of introduce them to veteran musicians, people who had been doing it for a while. And that was kind of the foundation of it. It was like a community.
It can be difficult sometimes for me to be pragmatic and to make informed decisions as a result of being mentally ill. And even with my family supporting and encouraging me, it is always a struggle to stay consistent with therapy. And every day it's a challenge to remain on a path of recovery. So I have a great deal of empathy for people in a similar situation.
He wanted to tell me he wanted to give back by bringing and displaying information about Nani at his appearances.
often ask myself questions. How can we bring more people onto the path of recovery, even if they're lacking a sufficient support system? And how can we most effectively incorporate people suffering from mental illness into society and initiate them to living healthy and happy lives?
It was extremely moving to see this young man share his story with the audience without the shame so many people experience.
When I was hospitalized in April of last year, I shared the floor with many people suffering from various mental illnesses across the spectrum.
He was filled with courage and determination. This was only the beginning.
A music therapist came in the morning after I was admitted, and she allowed me to play her guitar. I began to play a song called Long Time Sunshine by the band Weezer. It's a beautiful song about simpler times. And many of the people in the room responded in a positive way to the music I was playing. And the atmosphere seemed to change from solemn to hopeful.
Since that day, Stephen has donated almost $1,000 that he has collected as his appearances to NAMI of Lorain County.
We would raise money for that every night, every show. People would just come up, and I had this big canvas that had fake flowers on it, and I'd let everybody sign this canvas with a Sharpie marker.
When I left the hospital, I began planning benefit concerts in Northeast Ohio. And over the past year, we've raised close to $1,000 for the Lorain County National Alliance on Mental Illness. They're a nonprofit organization that advocates for adequate health insurance, housing, rehabilitation, and jobs for people with mental illnesses and their families.
Stephen, we award you today. The award reads, shapes and sizes. When grouped together, they provide shelter in the storm, beautiful colors in the fall, and rejuvenation in the spring. Just as leaves bring energy to a tree, your personality breathes new life into our team at NAMI. Your enthusiasm helps us grow. Congratulations,